Hello everyone! Welcome to Life in Envelopes. I am Jennifer Bleacher. What I'm showing you right now is my little envelope factory that I have set up in the corner of our family sunroom. Now this room did not get a lot of use until I recently set up my envelope shop in here, and also I added a TV because sometimes I like to listen to videos while I'm working. And then these two, this is Mork and this is Mindy. So prior to me moving in here, this was just a place that they hung out during the day. It's a really nice space, but we just never really used it. So this big wall here, like between the windows, I want to get a shelving unit to put all the supplies that are on my desk. I'd like to have a shelving unit so I could put all of my supplies there. So someday that will come. The dogs do eat in here, and the rest of the room, let me move over here. I don't want to step on her. So this is what the rest of the room looks like. It has these nice high ceilings. It's a big open space. We have a couch and like an old mattress and a crate for the dogs. This is all for the dogs, and they were really the only family members that used this space until recently, but now I have been sharing it with them. Okay, I'm going to give you a quick tour of all of the supplies that I use to make my envelopes. So let's start over here. This is my inventory binder. Now, I do not put anything up on my Etsy shop that is not already cut, folded, and laminated. I do that because I want to make sure that everything I put up is perfect and available. As I've been making envelopes, sometimes I make mistakes, and paper, I can't always get the same pattern again. So that's why I don't wait for people to order before making them. I have them ready to go. This here is the kind of paper I like to use. It's 12 by 12. And the reason why I like to use 12 by 12 is that I can get 2 envelopes out of each sheet. But sometimes I come across a pattern I just absolutely love, and the 8.5 by 11, and I have to get it. Now when I do 8.5 by 11, I'm only able to get 1 envelope out of each sheet, so it is more expensive for me, but sometimes it's just worth it. And these reminded me so much of the new Erin Condren planners that are coming out in July, or starting in July. They're already out actually, but this one is called the colorful layers, and I thought that one looked a lot like it. And this one is the neutral layers. So very similar, right? When I saw that paper, I thought, oh wow, I absolutely have to get that and make envelopes out of it. Sorry, Mork is sneezing. Silly puppy. Okay, so I have a little lamp here. Here's my laminating machine. I have 2 different hole punches, both ready to go. One's always set at A6 and one's always set at A5 because I do offer no hole punch, A6, A5, and then personal, compact, and slimline. They also are done at the A5 setting, but I just have to pull a thing out. Like there's a little thing on the side here that pulls out when I'm doing the A5. Okay, I have 2 of these. I don't know what they're called, like little cutting things. This one I use to cut my lamination, and that one I use to cut paper. I like my paper cutter to be super sharp. That's why I only use it for paper and nothing else. Okay, this right here is the label maker that I use to make labels. Labels are an option in my shop that people can order. When I do order that, I use my scratch paper over here to make them a little envelope that I send them in. This is the thermal sheets that I use, and they are from Sam's Club. Everything here is either from Sam's Club or Amazon or Hobby Lobby. So here's my little like miscellaneous cart. I have rulers, pencils, pens, scissors, extra cartridges for my label making machine, and then this nice big scratch paper that I can make into little envelopes. Now this one is the scratch paper I can't really use for anything, but I keep it and recycle it in case my sons want to use it for art projects. Or eventually, when I get back in the classroom, I can have it available for my students to use for projects. These here are a little preview of some envelopes that are going to be made. I already have them cut out. I just need to fold them and laminate them. This here is my little shipping cart. I have the packages that I ship in, little business cards, thank you stickers, and clear plastic bags that the envelopes come in. And that is everything I need to make the envelopes. So let's get started. Okay, I'm switching over to voiceover now for the rest of this part. So I was just showing you that that had an arm that came out. I cannot tell you how many envelopes I made before I realized that it had an arm that came out that would help me with my measurements. My first, I'd say 100 envelopes, I did a measurement on the back with a ruler and a pencil to get the right size. The width of my envelopes is 7 inches and the height is the height is 3 inches, but you cut 6 inches so that you fold that in half and it becomes 3 inches. I do all of the 7-inch cuts first, and then I go and I do all of the 6-inch cuts, which is what you're seeing there, the 6-inch cuts. I do that so that I make less mistakes that way. That little extra that comes off the end, those are the ones that I make into like little envelopes to put labels in when people order labels. So now I am doing the fold. So I'm making those 6 inches into 3 inches. Isn't this pattern so pretty? I love this pattern so much. So when I'm folding, I'm just extra careful to make sure I'm lining up the corners perfectly and everything is lined up and perfect. Okay, so once I'm done folding, I take 2 envelopes one direction and 2 the other direction, and I stack them so that they're as flat as possible, and then I put something heavy on it. In this case I used my inventory binder, but I realized it was too long, so I had to separate them a little bit more, and then I put my binder back on. I do this to make them extra flat before I laminate them. Okay, so next I laminate. I put all of the openings toward the inside, so when I go to cut them later, I know where all the openings are. At first I was only able to get 2 per sheet done, but then I figured out a way to get 3 to work and still to leave enough border so that I can do hole punching if that's what customers request. This part for me is a little bit tedious because I do have to hold the bottom of the sleeve as it's going in so that it doesn't like droop and get misaligned. But the rest of the stuff I do is super fun and relaxing, like the cutting, the folding, and then the cutting out the laminating. I find all of those activities super relaxing and I really enjoy doing them. And then you don't know this, but off to the side there I have a TV going, and I just have a stream of YouTube videos going constantly while I'm working, and it makes the time go quickly. So I start by cutting that inside seam of the 3rd envelope there. And then I always check to make sure that it opened, and if it didn't, then I recut it. I'm going to cut, now this one has extra sides, like thicker sides, so I've got to cut those off. And I've done this so many times that I know exactly where on my board to lay this and get the perfect amount there. I'm showing you the perfect amount of lamination left on the side to keep it sealed. Yeah, so it's just become like a really fast process. And then the end there, the part that would be hole punched if that's what somebody wants, I cut that to the correct size, which is just 3/4 of an inch longer than the envelope. Then I go in and I cut the middle seams of the other 2 envelopes. I'm checking to make sure that it has a good opening. And then I'm going to cut the back side 3/4. I'm cutting 3/4, leaving 3/4. I like to have all of my envelopes have the ability to be hole punched because I don't want to put unlaminated videos up on Etsy. I want them to be laminated, and that's because I make mistakes sometimes, and I don't want to ever have a product up on my shop that's not actually made and good quality and ready to be shipped. So that's why I do it all ahead of time, and I leave the area for the hole punching ahead of time as well. Now if somebody orders an envelope and they don't want the hole punching, I just cut off the excess before I send it to them. And that's it. I love this pattern so much. It's so pretty. I'm going to show you the back too. Like really on this one, like you could use either side. Both sides are beautiful. And that is it. Thanks for watching, guys.